We're live. Welcome everybody from around the world. We're transmitting here from La Llacuna in the heart of the Bodegas wine region. And we've got three fantastic producers lined up for this session, live session 4, live interviews. We've got Bodegas Otazu from the Dio Navarra, Bodegas Forcada from the DOC Rioja, and we've got Bodegas Marta Maté from the Ribera del Duero wine region. Well, we're going to start as per order on the program, which is Bodegas Otazu. So we're delighted to welcome Lisa from this winery. Hi there.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, so perhaps you could. Where exactly are you in Navarra?
So we're located right next to Pamplona, only 15 minutes away, and well, we're very close now. We're 35 kilometers from the Pyrenees, 40 kilometers from the sea. So we have a beautiful Atlantic microclimate where we are in the middle of the valley. So we are actually the northernmost winery in Spain for the production of red wine.
Right. Actually, I think I visited your winery many years ago. It's kind of got arcs lit up on the ground. Is that the one with part of it built into the stone?
That's the beautiful picture you see there. So yeah, we have an ancient, well, actually the winery was built back in 1840, but because of the phylloxera that arrived by the end of the 19th century, everything stopped, the whole production of the wine stopped. And when the current family owners came back in 1989, they decided to restart the activity of making wine because of the beautiful climate we have there. So they restored the ancient building, and we added all this the underground facilities, which include our beautiful barrels room that we call the wine cathedral.
Okay, good. Okay, well, I'm going to put you on full screen. We've got people in from New York there and Brazil. So welcome everybody. And there is a chat facility on the right. You're welcome to post any comments there. Just say hello. And of course, if you have any questions for Lisa or any of the producers on this session, then please post them there and we'll get to them. So Lisa, perhaps you could expand on about the winery, the philosophy, the terroir, the grapes, and of course present the two wines for us.
Yeah, so as I was mentioning, so yeah, we are very top north of Spain. So the climate we have it's not a typical Spanish climate, let's say. It's well, in the end, an Atlantic influence mostly. So we have mostly French grape varieties because of this weather. So we have, for the red grapes, we have Tempranillo, well, it's Spain. So Tempranillo, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot. We planted a few years ago Cabernet Franc, Pinot Noir, and for the white grape varieties we have Chardonnay. And something also very interesting we're working on now is a project of indigenous grape variety, because you see, before the phylloxera arrived in Europe, by the end of the 19th century, there was, well, the winery was working, Bodegas was a full working winery, and we are trying to recover all these grapes that used to be on the estate before the phylloxera. So last year, actually a year ago, well, it's a collaboration we made with the University of Navarra. We identified around 150 plants, and a few of them were detected as, well, endemic, well, indigenous grape variety that we replanted. And so one of them, the first one we replanted a year ago, is Bear West, is the name. So that's pretty much the type of grape varieties we have, and the whole vineyard, it's a single estate vineyard. So we have 116 hectares surrounding the property, that we divided into 66 plots. The idea for us is really to focus on the terroir and on the particularity of each soil, so we can express it the best possible ways through each grape varieties we have. So for the soils, we have mostly, well, gravelly soils near the river that is delimited actually the property up north. And as we move around the property, it's pretty much clay soils mostly. And after all the composition is changing, and that's so yeah, we try to, well, we actually parcelize the whole vineyard in order to express the best possible way the particularity of the soil we have.
Oh, sorry. Do carry on. I thought, yeah.
Well, I can tell a lot more as well, but
yes, no problem.
So
well, yes. So the grape varieties you mentioned, predominantly Tempranillo.
So it would be Tempranillo, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, and Berwes. That's the ancient grape variety that used to be in the valley of Pamplona before the Phylloxera.
Right. Okay. So do you have a couple of wines to present today?
Yes, indeed, I do. So I have two wines. We're going to start with the Otazu Premium Cuvée. Because we are in Navarra, we have the Navarra appellation of origin. But since 2009, we obtained our own appellation of origin, which is the Pago de Otazu appellation of origin. So we are part of the 19 wineries in Spain that have the Pago appellation of origin. So that means that all what we produce is produced on site. Well, we don't buy grapes. The vineyard has to be at least 10 years old. And so everything has to be sourced from this delimited single estate vineyard because of the particularities of the soil, of the microclimate. So we work with the two appellation of origin. This one, so it's the Otazu wine range. So that's our, let's say, our entry-level wine range. We have a rosé, a white, and two reds. And that's the, let's say, the one that is very, well, very popular internationally. So it's Otazu Premium Cuvée. It's a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Tempranillo. Mostly Cabernet Sauvignon, and it's from the 2016 vintage that we are currently commercializing. So you see, even though it's the entry-level wine range, well, it takes patience to good things. So we tend to take our time before launching all the wines. This one, so it's a blend, so as I said, of Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Tempranillo. So the fermentation occurred in stainless steel tanks, and after it spent 12 months in French oak barrels for the aging. And we tend to wait at least 14 months before releasing it on the market so that it can age properly and patiently in a bottle. So it's a shame you can't taste it. That's very frustrating, but well, that's we will do with the current conditions. So that's the first one. And the second one we wanted to present is the Pago de Otazu wine range. So we have two wines under this wine range. A white fermented in barrels, aged in barrels, sorry, and this one, a red. This is actually a brand new style. We launched it last year with the 2015 vintage. This one is the 2016. And so this one is a blend of mainly Merlot. So it's 70% Merlot, 20% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 10% Tempranillo. For this one, so all the grapes were harvested from the Pago certified blocks manually. And after the fermentation occurred in concrete tanks, tanks of 40 hectoliters, and after the malolactic fermentation in French oak barrels. And it's been aged for 15 months in French oak barrels, partly new, partly used. And after at least we tend to wait 18 months before releasing them. So this one is actually limited edition. Limited edition we do for this vintage. Of course, it changes a bit. This one is 5,695 bottles exactly that we produced of it. So that's something kind of more special and terroir focused. And as for you see the labels. The labels have a story. In the winery, we also have our art foundation, and what we want is really to promote the wine as a cultural product. So we have been incorporating little by little a few pieces of art. And nowadays, well, we have a very extended and quite important contemporary art collection. And we want to link this with the wine to promote the culture. So for the Otazu wine range, we decided to use one of the sculpture we have in the winery, which is a representation of Ariadne in the Greek mythology. It's a sculpture made by Manolo Valdés, and she's the mother of the wine creator in the Greek mythology. So that's a beautiful link that we try to make between wine, art, culture. That's pretty much who we are, the philosophy of Otazu, to bond all this together. And the second one, for the Pagoda de Otazu, we have some other sculptures. We have two guardians made of iron. They are 30 meters tall. And because we have two wines, one is bearing the guardian one and the other guardian. And they were made by the artist Xavier Mascaro, a Spanish artist. And it's the idea of resisting to the passing of time. That's the message of the artist. And that's a beautiful link again with our wines, because these are wines that resist, that are aging very well, and they have a very long aging potential. So that's the link we want to make with the wine. So I don't know if you have any questions, any specific data you would like me to add. I would be more than happy.
Yes, Ken was saying, tell us more about the Vino de Pago, but I think you just answered that one. Is that Ken? Was that answered for you? Can perhaps just say a yay or a nay? Let me just put myself up here. Bigger. There we go. That was a question that came in, but I think you've answered that. Well, just notice the here we go. So it says, for example, are the certified plots contiguous, i.e. next to each other? Can you irrigate? Can you irrigate?
Yes, we can. Well, we have all the irrigating system because we are so up north. You would be surprised to see a vineyard that is that green, because of course we have more rains compared to the south of Navarra. Being so north, we have the double of twice more rain than in the south, and twice less sunshine as well than in the south. So the conditions are pretty much French style in a way because of this. But yeah, we do have the irrigating system in case, and we can irrigate if needed.
Okay, and I noticed that in the registrations there are several wine tourism operators. Some may be watching now, or if not, certainly be watching the replay. Are you open for visits? Is wine tourism something you are doing?
Yes. We do tours for private tours, group tours. We organize as well. We have all the installations, the facilities to organize events such as congress for companies, for events for weddings as well. We have a lunch area with capacity of 350 persons with this view. That's the view. And we have also some more exclusive activities, such as doing your own wine blends with our winemaker, and it includes the full tour to the winery with the whole history part. We actually have a medieval area, which we called in Spain señorío. So there is a palace 5 minutes walk from the winery from the 16th century, a church from the 12th century. Everything has been restored. And then we carry on the tour in the ancient building of the winery that we turn into a wine museum and arts area with our where we exhibit our collection, and then we carry on to watch the new facilities all on the ground that we added back in the 90s. And
okay, so quite a complete offer. Are you actually open now for winery visits?
Well, we've just received the wonderful news yesterday that we can at last organize tours again. So we can now restart all the tours. So yeah, we're very happy.
Okay. Okay, Nelson asking if you have a Tempranillo, but I think you said you did, didn't you?
Yeah. So we tend to use blends for the wines, except for a brand new wine range we have, which is a premium wine range we are just launching now, which is called 1 hectare, 1 history. So the idea is to make a single varietal wines coming from one clone only and one specific soil, so that the wine can really show where it comes from, which grape, which soil, and it tells the story of one of the person linked to Otazu. So that will be the only 100% Tempranillo we'll be making. Otherwise, we have a rosé, 100% Tempranillo. But for the other wine range, we tend to use the blend to have a balance for the wine.
Okay, great. So let's. We've got Xavier in, I believe, now, who's from the Rioja. Let's see if we can find him. Xavier, are you there? Xavier? Okay, well, there's some questions while we try and connect Xavier. Let's have a look. Let's just come in. Joe is asking, the inclusion of international grapes in your wines provides a leg up. Is it likely that you might move to exclusive use of indigenous grape varieties? Lisa.
Sorry, I didn't get it's been cut.
Yeah, it's asking, Joe is asking, the inclusion of international grapes in your wines provides a leg up. Well, is it likely that you might move to exclusive use of indigenous grapes for the wines?
No. What we want is to really come back a bit to the story, to what was Otazu before, and show it what it can do nowadays today. But let's say that's something more. But we will keep on working with what we have, and the idea is to use a bit the history of what was Otazu before, and see how that would taste like today, and that's really playing with the history of the place.
Okay, and finally, quickly, Ken asking, are the grapes for blends fermented and aged separately?
Yes, they are.
Yes. Okay, good question. So we do have, so thank you, Lisa.
My pleasure, thank you very much to all of you for...
Okay, so that was Lisa from Bodegas Otazu in Navarra. Now we're going to head over to the well-known Rioja wine region. And we've got Xavier here. Hello, Xavier.
Thanks.
I believe you're actually at the moment in Bilbao, is that right?
In Bilbao, all right. It's all right.
Is it a fine sunny day there or raining as usual?
It's a sunny day today.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Well, delighted to have you in the program. The winery is, where is it exactly in the Rioja region?
In Rincón de Olivedo.
And that is near where?
Near Soria, more or less.
Okay, so you're right down in the south.
Yes, in the
Rioja
south
wine region.
Yes.
Okay, good.
On the combine.
Pardon? Good.
Yeah,
okay, so I'm going to hand it over to you now, so you can tell us a little bit about the philosophy of the winery, the terroir above all. I think we have a video we're going to have a look at later, so I think we see from the air how the terroir looks, and of course present two of your incredible wines. So put you on the screen there, and you have the power.
Thank you, Anthony. Let's go. Here, start. Okay. My name is Xavier Gutiérrez, sales manager in Bodegas Forcada. And we are located in Rincón de Olivedo in the Biosphere Reserve, 700 meters above sea level in the south. Our winery and history, we are the fourth generation of winemakers, works on owns 75 hectares in Alcarama Mountain and 70 hectares of our relatives. The new winery was built by David in 2001, combined traditional methods with modern techniques, processed around 1 million kilograms of grapes, and French and American new oak barrels. Our vineyards graze manual harvest and transported in small trailers, organic production methods, no chemical fertilizer or herbicides used last 2 decades. And we are the only winery within the Rioja Regulatory Council certified with the logo Biosphere Reserve. And today we are to present 2 wines. First, the best wine in our winery is Alma de Forcada. It's a signature wine. Cepas Viejas, or wine, is 100% Grenache. Is an spectacular wine. Is a gold medal in International Wine Challenge in London in 2019. Intense cherry color, very pleasant in mouth. Is a spectacular wine. 8 months in barrel, and is one of the best wine, in my opinion, in the DOC Rioja at the moment. And the second one is Flor de Baco Crianza. All of our wines are organic wines. All vines 100 years old. The Flor de Baco is a special wine because have 3 grapes, Tempranillo, Grenache, and Graciano. 14.5 degrees is an intense wine, and red color, intense red color, very complex and very good organic wine to taste. I am Xavier Gutiérrez, Sport Manager in Bodegas Forcada, and thanks, Anthony. It's a pleasure. Is here. Thanks.
Okay, yes, and of course, if you're a wine importer, distributor, retailer, want to get in touch with Xavier, and then of course go to the winepleasures.com website, and you can, if you're watching the replay, then just below the replay, you'll see a link to Bodegas Forcada, their profile page, and you can 1 minute quick fill-in form and request an appointment. Actually, we had the B2B workshop we organized near Barcelona. We had were you there? I don't remember.
Yes,
you were. Yeah. No.
Yes.
I was a bit disappointed I didn't get left a sample of that of the red wine. So maybe next time.
Yes.
We'd love to taste those wines. I'm sure many importers would be interested to taste the wine. That being the case, please get in touch with them. You've got the form. Just shoot them a quick form, and we'll. So just hold on there, Javier. We're going to just talk a bit more about export markets. But you've sent in a video for us, so let's have a look at that. I just ask you to switch off your microphone a moment, and while we watch the video, so there's no interference. So. Here we go.
Okay, thanks.
It's not a single secret that makes Forcada unique. There are a certain number of circumstances, a history, a 100-year-old tradition of things well done.
Achieving this quality takes 4 generations, a century, and a century is precisely the time that our grapevines have. And then there is the environmental setting, 800 meters high, a stony land with a perfect climate, with a perfect sun. Our land doesn't use artificial manure or chemical fertilizers. Here, everything is natural like a century ago. We fertilize with conventional manure. The grapes are harvested by hand. We carefully select. We take care. We pamper the vineyard as if it were part of the family. Furthermore, we are a privileged winery within the denomination of origin of La Rioja because it has the UNESCO Biosphere Reserve designation, which is exclusive in the world of wines. But whilst we preserve 100% of history and tradition in our fields, when we enter the cellar, we find that it is full of modern technological devices. We have a processing area with a capacity of up to 1 million kilos. In this room, everything is measured, perfected. Then there are the bottling rooms and the tasting room, where the wines are sampled. Finally, we have the wine maturation room with up to 800 French and American oak barrels. Bodegas Forcada, the soul of a tradition that toasts to the future.
Okay, good.
Okay.
We've got a question from the audience in private for some reason. Is asking about the vines. Are they old vines that you're working with?
Sí, all vines, 100 years old.
Really? So really old?
Yes, on 800 meters sea level is in the mountain.
Okay, good. So no more questions at the moment. So Xavier, in terms of export markets, are there any particular export markets that you'd be particularly interested? I'm sure you'd be interested in receiving from anybody, but particularly, are you interested in specific export markets?
In Russia, in the north of Europe, Netherlands, Norway, Belgium, and in South America, like Colombia, Mexico.
Okay, so plenty. I think we've seen people register from all of those countries to the event. So hopefully you'll get a few requests from there. Okay, well that's it. Thank you very much, Xavier. We're going to go to your neighbors, I think, now, Ribera del Duero, and talk to a winery, Maté, from there. Okay, thank you very much. And
Anthony,
I look forward to receiving those samples too.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, let's finally got everybody in. Let's go over to up to the Ribera del Duero, where we've got. Perhaps you could say your name. I'm not sure about the pronunciation. Is it Yaela?
It's Yaela.
Yaela, okay. And where are you from?
I'm from the Netherlands, but I work at the Bodega, and we are located in Tubia del Lago, in the Ribera del Duero area, and it's mostly northern of Ribera del Duero. We are the most northern village of the DO. Okay,
so so if you could perhaps, as the others have done, tell us a little bit about the philosophy, the terroir you have, and great varieties you're working with to make the fantastic wines, and presenting two of your wines at the end. If I just perhaps ask people to, they could switch off their camera and microphone, and we'll call you back in a moment. That's Lisa and Xavier. So over to you.
Okay. Well, like I said, we are from Bodegas Marta and Maté, which is the most northern part of the Ribera del Duero. We are a fairly new bodega. It all started when 4 people who knew each other for a very long time were working together, and in 2008 started with the first wine, Primordium, which was a great success. And after that, they built in 2013 the Bodega Marta Maté, which it is today. And yeah, those 4 people, they made it. We are in Tubilla del Lago. Tubilla del Lago is a very old wine city or village. It's very small. We are the only winery in the area, which
Okay, just connect you back again. There you go. don't touch any don't touch any buttons.
No, I didn't touch anything. I'm so sorry. Okay, we are in Tubilla del Lago, which has very, very old vineyards, and they're more than 100 years old, and we use many, many of the grapes. All of the vineyards in Tubilla del Lago are organically certified, and we use the grapes from that area, and we have our own wine vineyard in Gumil de Mercado, about 28 hectares, and also organically certified, and a part of it is biodynamically certified. And we use the biodynamic principles and practice in a part of that winery as well. What we stand for in the winery is sustainable viticulture, respect for nature, respect for life, and respect for the wine. What we want is when you drink a wine of ours that you can taste where it comes from. When you close your eyes, you see the vineyards, you see the clouds, you see the sun, you see the village, you see the grapes. We really want that you can taste Ribera del Duero and not just everything you can do with the wine. So we really go back to that part of making wines. We use for fermentation concrete tanks because it respects the flavor of the grapes more than when you put it in oak. We really like the fruity and the freshness of our wines. We have a very, very extreme climate because the altitude is very, very high, and the latitude as well. We are above 900 meters up, and we have like vineyards on the Paramo, which is very beautiful, but also very cold. It rains about 15% more than it would in the rest of the Ribera del Duero. So that's a little bit our challenges to get the good grapes. We mostly have Tinto Vino, which is a specific clone of the Tempranillo in the Ribera del Duero. We have some other varieties, and I will tell you about it when I show you the wine. And yes, that's us. we like to make the wines with what we have, what it is supposed to be, with grapes, good flavors, not a lot of additives, and very low sulfite as well. What more would you like to know?
Well, how far are you from the river? How far are you from the Duero? Duero, yeah.
We are a little bit. We have a little bit of a microclimate. We are in kilometers, maybe 15 kilometers from the Ribera del Duero, but we have a microclimate with the Gromejon River, and I hope I pronounced it right. My Spanish isn't the best yet. So we have the Gromejo River and the forest and the mountains of Burgos, which create for us a little bit of a microclimate. And Gumil de Mercado is right now a very valued part of the Ribera del Duero, where besides the Ruta d'Oro come very, very nice wines from.
Okay, so you have a couple of wines to present to us.
Definitely. We have the Viñas del Lago. which is the wine, and it's called Viñas del Lago because we named it after the village. This is the wine that comes from the vineyards from Viñas del Lago. We have Tempranillo or Tinto Vino, Garnacha a little bit, and Albio. And because of the Garnacha, it gives it a little bit of a rustic taste. It has old vineyards, and it's a little bit of a more rustic mineral wine. And it's full-bodied, but it's not as strong because it has wood, about 14 months of French and a little bit of American oak, but it's fruity, it's fresh, and you can combine it with oily fish or salads with mature cheese or roast. It has a little bit of spices, red fruits, some floral. It's very versatile, and yeah, a little rustic, a little different than others. And because the village has done so much for us in providing the vineyards and the work, and we like to do something back, we call the wine Viñas del Lago.
Could you hold it up?
Yes.
Could you hold it up a bit more? Because we can't see it. Just hold it there for 3 seconds.
Yes.
Okay, what's that little black at the bottom there? Black.
This.
There, yes, what's that?
That's the house. It's our logo of Marta Maté, and it's the house as our bodega has a nice house look.
I see. Okay.
I can on the next bottle you can see the house better, and I will show you.
Okay, let's go next one then.
This is our Marta Maté. I will show it like this a little bit longer. This is the wine that represents everything we are in the bodega. That's why it's carrying the name of the bodega. It's made from grapes from the vineyards in Tubia del Lago, as well as the grapes in Gumiel del Morgado. We select the best ones, and we make the Marta Maté wine. And we respect the soils, and that's why I don't know if you can see it, but if you feel it, it has the station of the soil, the nice limestones and the clay, and yes, that's on the respect for the vineyards itself. The wine is really it's fruity and fresh because we like to make very, very nice fresh wines. It's a little bit more full-bodied than the Viñas del Lago. It has a sort of in the mouth a velvety feel, and it's really, really good. You can combine it with red meats or with foie gras or something with a coffee taste. It's really good with this wine. But as well, you can combine it with grilled vegetables or sheep cheese, poultry if you'd like. It's a really nice, complex wine. Really, really nice.
Yes, sound great. I'm sure you get a lot of requests from people watching now and afterwards. Couldn't help notice those balloons on the house behind you. What's that? Is that part of the logo?
It's the logo. I can change it a little bit. It's our logo, held up by the grapes.
Ah, okay, some grapes. Okay, yeah. Interesting idea. Okay, so let's see if we've got any questions. Not at the moment. Right. Okay, let's all come back in a minute. So let's. I'm just going to share my screen a moment, so I can just remind people watching now and watching the replays how to contact you all for potential appointments after the event. So if I remember how to do it, here we go. There you go, and that one there. There we go. And you should be seeing my screen. Yes, you are. There. So in where you registered to attend this event, Spanish Wine Day, you have the program, and we're now on session 4. And we had first up was Otazu, and I want to make an appointment with Lisa. I go and check over her profile. There's the 2 wines she presented, and fill in a form. Very quick, just takes a minute. Just say who you are, I'm a distributor or tourism agent, and hit the send button. And same for Forcada, same procedure. Click on the name there, profile, set an appointment, and of course, Marta Maté, same thing. There we go, Viñas del Lago, just seeing the big house there, the balloons. In fact, there's the logo, look. Very good. Okay, so do use the forms, do get in touch, just send it off, just needs your name and what you want to chat about. So before we go, just go back to Lisa, ask a couple of questions to everybody, the export markets that you'd be particularly interested in receiving appointment requests from would be?
So many countries, but that would be mainly we're looking actively the whole Canada except for Quebec, Japan, Denmark, and Russia, and the US as well. The US. This would be our main market. We are actively looking for distribution there. Okay,
that's good. I think Quebec will be quickly taken up because I know there are quite a lot from not only Quebec but also what's a neighbor called Ontario joining the show. Okay, very good. Well, I hope you get some requests there from those countries. Same for Xavier. What export markets is David particularly interested in receiving? Oh, do switch your microphone on again. Yeah, easily done. Easy done.
Yes. See, USA, Japan, Russia.
Okay, just those three countries. Well, USA is pretty big, yeah. Quite a lot of wine.
Yes, we are interested in South American markets. It's okay for us.
Okay, very good. So, Colombia,
Brazil, Mexico.
Right. Okay, and same for
Japan, Russia.
Same for Yaila.
Yes.
People watching now, people watching in the future. Are there any particular, export markets you would really be interested in receiving requests from?
Yes, right now we're actually really starting our export. So basically Europe, we have some importers in Belgium, Germany and Denmark already, but we're interested in many countries from Europe and Canada as well, United States, United Kingdom if it's no longer Europe, and Scandinavia as well.
Okay, right. Well, I'm sure you'll get some requests from some of those countries, particularly Canada. They will seem to be the first ones to request appointments from the producer. So I'm asking England, and you said UK, so yeah, that's Sarah Jane is coming up next, so she can probably give you some insights if you tune in on the Brexit scenario and just how that might affect imports. So you can throw that question to her, I'm sure. Somebody's got a question here. Mark, what are you asking? How about Alberta, Canada? That's probably for you, Yaila. Alberta, Canada, for you?
Of
Alberta,
course, yes, Canada.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whole of Canada. We can take the whole of Canada.
We can take all of Canada. You're always welcome with us.
What's your annual production?
At the moment, last year I think it was between 80,000 and 100,000 bottles a year. It depends a little on the year, but between those numbers.
Okay, great. So technical hitch there. So Yaila will be back in a moment. Anyway, that's it. That's all we have time for. So thank you to Lisa from Navarra, Bodegas, Otazu. Thank you to Xavier from Bodegas Forcada, and thank you to Jayla from Marta Maté in the Ribera del Duero wine region. So thank you for participating, and we hope you get lots of orders.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Okay, so just to finish up then, the next session, last session, as it's Spanish Wine Day, last session is we're going back to where we started. We're going back to Sarah Jane Evans, Master of Wine, and who's going to conveniently talk about reds from northwest Spain. So that's 3 producers we've just seen. I'm sure the great varieties at least will be mentioned, if not the wineries themselves. So Sarah Jane Evans is with us in 10 minutes, 5:30 Spanish local time. And so we'll see you there. Just click on the link at the top. But before you go, let me just give you a handout, which is basically the information that's on our website. It's a PDF with the 3 producers that appeared in this session. You can see the profile, the wines they presented, and contact. Okay, so you can feel free to download that, take that away. If you're watching the replay, don't worry, it's on the website. You can follow the instructions I just demonstrated on the share screen. All right, that's it. We'll see you at 5:30 with Sarah Jane Evans, Master of Wine. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.